Hello and welcome to my channel. This one, I'm asking myself, what makes a Stoneworx, particularly in the Rough Ryder collection? Because they've used knives with similar type of inlays and didn't call it Stoneworx, you know. Here's a Christmas knife right here. This was not called Stoneworx. But you can see the similar type of pattern they're doing there. This one just says Merry Christmas on it. I think it's a moose. Little moose. Rough Ryder. Here's an older one. This is a canoe. I mean, not a canoe, a gunboat. A gunboat is like a heavy-duty canoe. Merry Christmas. I'm not sure. This may just be bone rather than stone. But I just wanted to put in there, that they use different. This is my current collection of Stoneworx knives. And here's also, like the synthetic. What is that? Oh, man. It's not tiger eye because that's the brown stuff. It's not jade. Anyway, it's the green stuff, the synthetic green stuff. My mind's lost. But what I like about this is, if you like, I was thinking about how we as humans perceive things, the five senses, and how many are involved in what you go with a knife. And at first I thought it was only two, but then if you add into actually, the five senses are sight, which is a big one. A lot of times we're looking at it. Sound, well, we're using sound, sometimes for walk and talk. Touch, we're touching it. Like touch, hearing. Not necessarily tasting it. I mean, if you, maybe you get into that, but I don't usually taste my knives. Smell, KPL and the pivot lubes, the closest I can get to that on smell. You don't want your knife any other real smell unless you really need to clean your knife. The last deer you gutted, there's entrails in there, and it's starting to pick up a smell. Yeah, maybe you should clean your knife. But I picked up, I got these. I added to my Stoneworx collection, and I'm always, like, if I get a chance, throwing in a toothpick or something like that. And I picked this one up, and just pulled this one out as an example. These are like doctor's knives that are not, considered in the Stoneworx series, but they have the same type of stuff, So I don't think they have a doctor's knife in the Stoneworx series. Ta-da! There's something that they should do, I think, because they keep throwing different patterns of stuff in it, and they keep changing up the existing pattern colors, and you never know. If is it all right? Do they go this way with the main thing sticking up there, or do they go that way? You never know. You never know how it's gonna work with this. Is it going this way? Is it going that way? Is it 2 stripes, 3 stripes? I like them anyway. I just think they're colorful. That's one of the main things. To me, these type of knives would be more like show-off type of knives. Where you want to use a knife, but you want to have more. It's more like jewelry than it is. It's like a special occasion type of knife. Wedding or church or whatever. You pull it out, and you got to cut something. People are not going to think you're going crazy, and they'll look at it. It'd be more of a conversation piece. It just lowers down the threat level, in other people's minds. and raises the curiosity level. Oh, I want to look at that. Oh, that looks nice, you know. And that's pretty much what I use these for. It's just to look at, and you know, you can get lost in looking at the patterns and trying to figure out, like, ink blots, what that is. You know what's going on there. That kind of looks like a wave, crashing wave. I don't know, or an acorn in a forest. Who knows? But it's just pretty to look at, and it's still functional. It still retains the functionality, you know, of being a knife. But I mean, if you got the choice between using this one in your garden, digging through a bunch of stuff where you're going to run into rough stuff, or you're using one that has a G10 handle or maybe a bone handle, you know, that doesn't have. I've never had any, and I don't treat these super rough and everything, but I've never had a problem with any of these inlays falling out. I can't say that of shields. I've had shields fall out of Rough Riders, but I've never had one of those inlays fall off or even come loose. Now, this one is pinned, and there was one of them. I may have fixed it with some super glue, but there was one of them. Yeah, here it is. That. I don't know if you can see it. It's just tiny, but it's got some movement. You know, all this is built by hand, backed by life, and all that stuff. But if you've got something that's one of the older patterns and you've got an issue with it, don't expect them to try to be able to replace it, because I don't think they just went with the existing stock of whatever they had, and that was it, you know. If they're making it, maybe you had one of these and you want something and they've come out with a different color or different pattern. Well, bam, that's what you're gonna get, you know, that or a refund. You know, here's your $10 back or whatever you spent. These are usually a little bit more expensive because they are kind of fancy schmancy looking. But yeah, it's a nice series to collect. But I was just wondering, you know, why some things, like I don't ever remember seeing a doctor's knife in there, and that they have made things that you could consider. You could consider this a doctor's knife, Stoneworx. You just got to throw in something blue in there, maybe. I think is that it? It looks like that's the only thing that's similar between them all. Well, you know, this is blue. Yeah, but it's got to have red, does it? No, not necessarily. That's considered a Stoneworx one, and it's just got blue and white. Here's blue and white. Do we consider this guy Stoneworx? See, these are things I think about that most people would not, you know, because it's a waste of their energy. So I've done all the thinking and pondering for you, and I still have not come out with an answer. Here, you know, here's a mother of pearl one with little band of abalone in there. Does that qualify? Not officially. You know, if you were collecting this pattern of Stoneworx and you listed it out, I'm sure Rough Ryder and Smoky Mountain Knife Works and everything has got a list of what they consider Stoneworx knives, and this one would not fall in it. And that's one of the earlier ones. The sharp tested. What is this number down here? We still got to know it's China. Sometimes they put the number right here where the pivot is, and it just wore right off. Yeah, it's got a pin blade on it. But it is you know, it's a nice one. It's got a little bit of... And that was another thing I was thinking about, is anytime you deal with man-made materials or simulated, I mean, this is, I think it's like synthetic, where they take reconstituted stone, which is basically the same thing, but they hold it together with resin or whatever, make their own patterns instead of what's natural. But these are real inlays, and you notice that one that I kind of fixed it. You know how I fixed it? I took a needle and I went through. You can still see a little bit of it, but this is real shell here. You know, like, it's real shell, and that was one of the lips. And it started coming apart. It probably was adhered through most of the process, but when they're polishing it all up at the very last, it probably came loose and picked up some of that black. You can still kind of see it. But that's why I don't return things just on, oh, that's got a crack. I'm sending it back. It's got a crack. Send it back. You know, I put up with a lot of stuff just because, I don't know, you know, this poor knife, if I sent it back, nobody would probably ever take a needle to that. They'd probably throw it in a bin, or they do something with it, or I don't know what they do. If they even get, used to be they wouldn't take returns. They just said your refund, and people abused that, so they started having to ask for returns naturally. But yeah, it is more of, you know, kind of a showpiece, but again, it's natural materials and it's made by a human. So I'm not expecting perfection out of these things. All right. But what did get me on one of them, here's a purchase. I thought toothpick. You know, I'm thinking toothpick. Tiny toothpick. I didn't think it was one of those little keychain ones. This is kind of like my limit of, it's nice. This is like black lip pearl or something. I mean, it's nice looking, but it really is tiny. I mean, it really is tiny. This is the number on this one, RR978. Yeah, get there. But yeah, when it came in this, see, I didn't look at the measurements. I didn't think of it. I was thinking it was going to be this size instead of that size. Let me put this guy back. It's kind of, I can feel the pivot needs to be cleaned. I worked on that other one's pivot. Yeah, so it's about half the size of a toothpick, which is already small. Where's my ruler? I had him right here. Oh, I moved him. Yeah, so you're looking at like a 2-inch or 5 centimoid. Let's see how long our blade is. If you're ever looking at a description and they don't tell you, like on modernized, on traditionalized, and a lot of times they're just talking about the closed length. Whatever blade length is your main blade. Oh, what this gunkage is here. It's external. It can come off. What is that? I don't know. It's like plastic. Anytime you get that, just consider your blade length is going to be a lot less. So see, we had like a 2-inch overall thing, but we're only going to get 1.25 inches of cutting edge here. Or how many centimoids? 3 centimoids. Oh, I'm trying to get that in focus. But yeah, this is all right. I wouldn't want something this nice on my keychain though, because have you ever seen the stuff that's on your keychain? God, it gets abused because there are other things on your keychain and they bang against them. So I don't know. Maybe you could put this on a necklace. You'd have a neck knife, but it'd be more like jewelry. Anyway, it's not the size that I was expecting. That's what I'm saying. It got me. But I don't mind having it. You know, it'll fit in a drawer and go along with it. All right, there was one other thing that I wanted to show you, and that is Brown Burlap Micarta series. Again, I was into the... I think the thing about micarta is it can be highly polished like this is. It looks like it's you know, going to be rough texture, but those K-bar handles that I had, when you see that it's powdered and everything, that gives you a rougher texture. This right here is micarta, but it has more of a smooth texture to it. I may have had one of these in here before, but here's another one again, because it's just such a nice knife. These these clasp knives. RR2329, 440. Feels good in the hand. Very slender, but wide. That's another thing. If you're not going to girth it out like that, then bring it up like this. As long as it ergonomics, as long as it fills your hand, and this does. This fits the hand a little bit better than the K-Bar BK18, but the BK18 has more of a swell there that helps with that. Anyway, I'll have to look and see if I've done that before, but this is the RR2329, and this particular knife is going to be the May giveaway knife. Because, yeah, why not? Why not? If I have given it away before, I'll reference the video on giving it away, you know. But it's a nice knife, and you can look at the specifications and all that stuff later, but I rambled on too long. I don't want this video to go on too long. Oh, here's another thing. This is considered the Black Widow series, but look at that. You got the red inlay in there, you know, with black. But I mean, again, this is red. It's the same type of red type of stuff that they're using here. It's the same stuff. But this is not considered Stoneworx. I think I need to add to this. This is all I got of those. They've got a lady leg, I think, in it, and some other stuff. Again, yeah, you know, you start collecting series and everything, and boom, I need this, I need that, I want this, I want that. And after a while, some of these series, they don't make them anymore. It's hard to get, you know, they're just not in stock. You have to find them, you have to search for them. And a lot of times, like when I was doing doctor's knives, I just came across some of these, you know, like some of these were when companies are going out of sale and everything, and they were selling these things really cheap. What was it? It wasn't Blade Ops. It was Blade something. I don't know. Anyway, it was going out of sale. It was going out of business, and it had a big sale on Rough Riders. And I scooped up a lot. One of them, I think, was this one. But this may have been an eBay purchase too. There was a while when I was just going crazy on eBay, searching for missing Rough Riders. I had exhausted the supply of Rough Riders in Smoky Mountain, you know, that I wanted at the time, and I thought it would be more fun to try to chase them on eBay. And that's where I ran into this situation more than once. I got some really tiny Barlows. I mean, they're only like about this long, and they're almost totally useless. I mean, they're nice looking, but still, the picture was like this, you know. I mean, it was like zoomed up, and there were no fingers. There was no hands holding it. There was nothing to reference the size of it. And yeah, I wound up paying more than I should have for that. But I mean, it wasn't a crazy amount, but still, when you're buying things, it always helps. Just look again, reference the size of that thing. All right, so what are we going to do for this one's giveaway? And remember, it's just that clasp knife. It's not the entire Stoneworx and all this stuff. It'll be in there, and I'll add other stuff to it. And we have to add now medic. I think medic, because I've been a medic giving first aid lately, and my patient is healing and coming along much better. But yeah, it's that whole taking care of someone or something, you know. If something's hurt or injured and needs help, if I can help it, I will. Especially a cat, and especially a cat that's my friend. But again, for this particular giveaway, we'll have it go for a week. You can, if you're from overseas or whatever, and you have a U.S. address that'll send it to you, that's fine. All I need to do is, when I send it, it's got to go to, you know, someone of legal age, and a mailing address, you know, and lower 48 that could drop in the mail and boom, send the package out. And after that, however it gets to, goes to Timbuktu or outer Mongolia or whatever, and it gets there, or you run into any issues with customs, hey, I was just doing it United States, lower 48, not Hawaii and not Alaska, and none of the territories we've got out. We've got territories all over the place. But postage, it's because of postage. Anyways, you will get a creature. I have a couple of creatures. This one is going to go, each one of these have their papers. So, they are legal. They have their papers. This one's kind of like a big Boris. And this guy, I think he's got an issue with standing. I'll have to look at him, but hey, he's doing all right. I checked him earlier. He's got horns on his head. They all got kind of horns. Anyways, that'll go there along with them, along with other stuff that I've got up there. And we're giving away that other Stoneworx that I didn't have in here. That was a small stockman. This is a large stockman that I've got from that. But I can pick up another one. Like I said, I need to do something for the giveaway, and might as well be something fancy. So there you go. Good luck for everyone that wants to enter. One person, per entry and everything. Don't spam it and everything. And yeah, usually, like I said, not a whole lot of people. I may have a lot of viewers, but not everybody subscribes. You don't have to be subscribed. You don't have to be a member or anything like that. If you won, you can win again. Once you get it, you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours, but my main reason for doing these magic words and all this other stuff is to keep the bots out, and just to make sure it's people who enjoy knives, because I'd rather it go to somebody that enjoys a knife rather than somebody just looks at a knife as something as profit. Ooh, I got it for nothing. If I sell it for like $10, I've made $10. Yeah, and what are you going to blow that $10 on, Anyway, like I said, do it whatever you want with it when you win it. It's not up to me. I just want to spread the knives around, and not these are little toe poppers or whatever they make a good little manicure knife. And what is on here? We must investigate. Yeah, it looks like plastic. Yep, knocked her right off. This one's sticking on there too. Huh. Oh well, we'll work on that later. But yeah, it's a nice color. That's the whole reason a lot of times when I go to get a toothpick is I may like the handle material, and I'm thinking about getting it on a larger knife, but I want to see how it is, if I really like it. If they did a good job on the small one, then maybe I'll go with a bigger one, and if they didn't do a good job on it or whatever, oh well, like, do you like this type of stuff? What is this called? It's not, is it malachite? Malachite. Synthetic malachite. That's the word that popped in my head, and I hope it's right. Malachite, and I hope it's right. There you go. So, yeah, I've rambled on too long. Even after I said, look, I looked at it, it was like 16 minutes to really wrap it up, and then boom, here I am at like 24 minutes. So I'm cutting it off right now. Thanks for watching this rambling thing, and good luck to everyone, and have a nice day.